Alright. Howdy there, friends. It's CD Mangaka, or Colin, as, well, that is my name. And I'm doing something I haven't done in a while for my Dragon Ball Fighters community in Colorado, and that is just one of these, like, little, I guess, TO vlogs. Something, I guess, is what I'll call it. Just to kind of review what things are looking like in Colorado, what our plans are currently for tournament play, and so on and so forth. Since I haven't done these for a while, it's been about the start of July actually, and we're coming to the end of the month in the next 4 days. This Saturday will be August 1st. I'm recording this on July 27th of 2020, and at the start of the month, I had elected to stop hosting the Lone Tree Locals. We did two of those. That was the bi-weekly series of events. And I did that because I felt like we were having a spike in coronavirus cases being reported in Colorado, and I thought that with the holiday of 4th of July coming up, that it was only going to get worse, and for the safety of the community, I felt it was best to postpone the tournaments until the Colorado COVID cases start to climb back down and get under control again. So, what are we looking at right now for the state of Colorado? Well, let me flip on over to a different overlay, and let's take a quick gander, my friends. So this is the Google stats that are being reported, so all you have to do is look up Colorado COVID cases. These numbers closely match to other sources, like I think Channel 9 News is a source that has like Colorado COVID cases that are being reported. There is a difference in reporting. I know that the Trump administration has elected to have hospitals stop reporting to the CDC and instead report to like a privately owned, I believe it was privately owned, and established or contracted, that was it, privately contracted source, and some people are accusing it of actually like deleting data or not reporting all the data, et cetera, et cetera. But that's something that's just beyond our capacity, or at least my capacity, to examine at the moment. Time will tell how that turns out. For now, we still have the same numbers that we can always rely on. The numbers that we are given are what we have to work with. Of course, there are going to be arguably more or less cases because there are false positive testing that can occur, and there are a whole bunch of people that haven't been tested as well. So let's take a gander at what July has played out for us. So when we look at the graph, at the end of June we were in the low 200s, 300s, and then I think it was around July, I think, that we started to see spikes into the 400s at the very start of it, July 10th being 666 cases. My vlog on YouTube, I can't remember what day it went up on, but we went from having these, 100s to 200 ranges of new cases reported every day to averaging in these like 400 to 300s. So that the middle of July, those higher case numbers have remained the same. We dipped down at 349 here, but now we are on another uptick. In fact, we have a new high of cases reported at 809. We have not had a same day of new cases reported as high as this since April 24th and April 25th, where there was 994 and 712 cases respectively. So this is indeed a new spike, and this is taking place about 3 weeks after the 4th of July events. Anything after 2 weeks is plausible that 4th of July, anyone who went out and socialized on the 4th of July might have been able to contract the disease from somebody else. We had a lot of reportedly a lot of out-of-state visitors coming in, people from states like Texas and Colorado, not Colorado, Colorado invaded Colorado, Arizona, Texas, Utah. We have these neighboring states, and of course, there's family and friends that are split amongst this, so, people want to kind of see each other and still get together, perhaps have had a little bit of solace by just having some friendly company during this time, but this isn't the year to really be doing any of that. And I'm a little worried as well because I can speak that from personal experience from my work, that I'm aware of people who have been traveling. I had one coworker visit Florida, for Christ's sakes, and that has me a little bit worried. I'm watching her like, are you going to start coughing? But we can only hope that they limited their travels when they did travel, that they've protected themselves as best as they could, and that goes for anybody else as well. So I think we're seeing the fallout of 4th of July visits and traveling and vacations, things like that, and people who are still not taking this as seriously as they arguably could. Now, to be honest though, it is very difficult to really like shelter in place, stay in place when we're not getting the support from any institution that is capable of doing so. I know that Congress right now is in deeper talks about doing a second stimulus check bill because of how things are progressing in the states. We will have to see how that pans out. And I will avoid discussing the political stuff about all of this, just because this is not the time or the place to do so. You all don't need to hear me rant about that. What I will stress for everybody, though, is the science of it all, and the science says, please wear masks. Mask wearing is incredibly important. Don't just do it because Colorado has a statewide mandate, because it's required to enter into places. Don't try to play the system or game that system. We need to be doing this to protect ourselves and each other. You have to understand when it comes to mask wearing that it's a social thing, that we're doing this for each other. With certain exceptions, most of the masks that we have, like that surgical mask that you most commonly see, it does not protect you from contracting a disease. It does prevent you from spreading the disease, though. That is the main point of it, so that if you're a carrier, you're not getting other people sick. So the social contract at the moment then is, I wear a mask because if I get it in any way, I don't want to spread it to other people. So out of consideration for me, I ask that you also wear a mask to pay me the same courtesy. That is something that has just been proven. Like every other country in the world has pulled this one off. South Korea's numbers, for example, are insanely low. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull up South Korea COVID cases. So let's take a look at South Korea's numbers. These are their all-time cases. As again reported by Google. These guys have been averaging, look at this, double digits. Double digits. 14,000 confirmed cases of all. This is just absolutely remarkable to see. It's a very compact country. There's a lot of urban centers to it. And if we look at like South Korea population 2020, or I guess the 2020 census, 51 million people. This is the estimation for 51 million people. That's a sixth of the United States population size at 300 million. But their COVID cases are like not even a fraction. You know, you multiply this by 6, and you would get somewhere up into like the 70,000, something like that. If we compare this to United States COVID cases, 4.6 million. You know, the infection rate has just been completely blown wide open on this one. In fact, here's this beautiful map. A lot of the urban areas, as you can kind of see, are incredibly under duress. So that's just like one example. We could look through some other things, but that is where those Asian cultures, the Asian cultures and their idea of focusing on the collective and guaranteeing the safety of the collective and thinking about the collective over the individual has really been a great asset to them in these times, because they're able to just think about protecting themselves from one another. I think some of our selfishness as a culture is really starting to show through. On top of that one, too, there's more than just deaths to the virus, my friends. There are some long-term symptoms and consequences to this one. Permanent heart damage, permanent lung damage, things that could take years to get over, not to mention, like, if you have a serious infection, how long you could be disabilitated in the hospital for. There was one man in Seattle. He was an older gentleman, but he was in Seattle hospital for 6 months on a ventilator, and then his hospital bill was like over $1 million. That's our country right now. And of course, there are still young people that are being claimed by the virus, and there's still various other things to it. So please, my friends, please take this very seriously. I understand that it is very frustrating to have our way of life compromised, that it is a hassle to having to abstain from seeing friends. This is my first year in a while where I'm not going to be going out of state at all to see family in any capacity, not to visit my father in Utah, not to visit my mother in Texas. I've canceled all my travel plans for that, as my reasons for traveling have also canceled on themselves. It's just so, it is a very difficult year. But it's a year that we have to say, you know what, this one's just washed. We have to just do the right thing this year so then we can really get together next year, because I don't know what the winter is going to look like when all of a sudden it's flu season and then people contract the flu and coronavirus at the same time. There was the Joe Rogan podcast. He had the expert on there at the start of this all. I cannot remember the man's name for the dear life of me, and I'm very upset by that right now. But he had estimated that there was going to be 480,000 deaths in total in the United States with 96 million cases. Well, we're well on our way so far, as we have 4 million cases confirmed and 150,000 deaths. And it's not even the winter season yet. So, just take care of yourselves and take care of each other's, my friends. We really need to be able to look out for one another in this time and show that we are better than this, that we are more open-minded and more thoughtful of one another than this. As all that has been said, that is my one bit of platform that I will spake up and stand on, and that is one that deserves to be mentioned to all of y'all, because I want to encourage you as a member of this community to please be responsible and please be safe and please take care of each other. That is so important in these times. With all that established, there's not going to be any plans for any in-game local tournaments, or I should just say locals, at any event right now, just because Colorado cases are continuing to climb. Some restrictions are being further implemented into the state. Governor Polis has issued, for me, a rather questionable last call curfew. I don't know about that one, Chief, but we got to do something about it. Who knows what might happen? We could have another statewide shutdown of things that could definitely impact all of us. So I am not entirely sure as to what the future holds for us. And because of that uncertainty, the only way to strive forward to make it safer for everyone is to continue to abstain from getting together. I do highly encourage y'all that please hop on our Discord server. I got voice channels in there for a reason. We also have Yinja's Dojo. That's a server that he likes to hang out in. We're all still getting it together. We're all still talking on voice. If you want to practice or study the game or get questions, anything like that, we're always around for it. Let's keep our discussion up for this wonderful video game that we have. Let's keep up with these online events that we're starting to run. We have really good connections to the Wednesday Night Fight Night crew over in California. Turns out to be fairly playable, so I highly recommend that if you haven't, try to sign up for it. Just see how you do. Get to play other people. Just get a cool experience out of that one. We have other plans too. Tonight, around 6 to 7 o'clock, Yinja is going to be running our next Dragon Ball FighterZ PC local. I am currently occupied with a few other plans that I forgot, interfered with my tournament ideas, so that's on me. But I will be back next week to run things and to compete with y'all again. But again, we still have many opportunities to get together in some way and at the very least cherish one another's company and share some of the tech. One last thing I would also like to ask is if you guys want me to do any kind of content on teaching about some of the higher level concepts of the game, please ask. I would love to, or bring it up to me, because if you want to learn about, creating Oki situations, if you want to learn about studying and labbing the game and really getting serious about it, just let me know. I think I've succeeded fairly well in developing my own play and my own self, so perhaps I can pass some of that on to y'all. And of course, I'm not the only one. Some of the other players like Poet, Mr. 1-2, Yinja, for example, just to think of the boys, they have all done the same kind of work. So if just don't be afraid. We're all here to learn and grow together because we want Colorado to be strong when we invade all these online tournaments. And anyways, my friends, I appreciate you listening to this video. I hope you took what I said to heart. And in the words of one of my favorite singers, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I'm CD Mangaka. I will see you all soon.